Here's some things people don't tell you when you're trying to get that six pack or you're working towards getting that six pack actually. You hit it, or when you hit it, you got the look you always wanted. You realize there's something completely different, right? But today we're doing something a little different. We're not going to get you lean, but we want to talk about what happens when you stay lean all year round. You know, the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, the ugly, stuff that most people or fitness content creators gloss over. All right, there are some benefits, but we're also going to talk about the cons about it today. All right, so let's just get to it. All right, so first and foremost, we got to talk about what does lean actually look like or what it means, right? That's when you're for men, the body fat percentage, I think it's about 10 to 15%. And for women, it's about 18 to 24%, right? So this is like maintained consistently, right? So this is not like stage ready or shredded. It's just athletic. You know, that's what everybody wants. You got the visible definition, low enough to see the work that you put on, that you're putting in. It's high enough to know that you're functioning like a human being, right? So put this in context. We're not talking about competitive bodybuilding with that 3%. I ain't talking about that. That shit is not functional for all year round. They do that for a show and then they get back right to it. They put back on a little bit of weight. All right. So we're talking about the everyday person, the average Joe. All right. So when it comes to that, yes, it requires a certain amount of discipline. Either it's a deficit, right? The structured training days, your sleep, the stress management, consistency. You know what I mean? You're not really shooting for perfection, right? You just want to be consistent, right? So we want to know, is it really worth it? All right, so let's go. All right, so the pros of being lean, right, is definitely number one, insulin sensitivity. When you have a lower body fat percentage, especially visceral fat, that means the fat that's around your organs, it leads to better insulin sensitivity, right? So your body handles carbohydrates more efficiently, nutrients get into the muscle instead of your fat cells, and your energy is more stable throughout the day. This isn't about aesthetics. This is like metabolic health, which is very key. All right. So low body fat, better insulin sensitivity, uh, better nutrition portioning. All right. Number two, hormonal balance. Right. So research shows that men with low body fat tend to have higher free testosterone levels. Right. Fellas, get your blood work. I would recommend at least once a year. Right. Or if you're really nice with it, do it half year, twice a year or quarterly. All right. Because what tends to happen is excess body fat converts testosterone to estrogen, right? Through aromatization, right? Because you know the hormone aromatase converts testosterone to estrogen, right? And that happens when you have a higher body fat percentage for men. All right. For women now, maintaining a healthy lean body composition supports estrogen regulation and cycle consistency, right? So healthy is lean, but not no crash diet. And there's a difference, right? And I'm going to get to that also. Number three, performance ceiling, which is very important. If you compete and you train hard and you want to perform, carrying less fat means a better power to weight ratio. So you move more efficiently. And recovery tends to be faster, and the physiological edge of feeling capable in your body is real. It affects how you train, how you show up, and how you push. All right. So that's very key as well. That's one of the things I always ask my clients before we start training. Did you eat and what did you eat as well? So we can gauge their performance. Number four, the long game. Staying lean all year round, remove the damage of extreme bulk and cut cycles. Aggressive bulking accelerates fat cells expansion. Aggressive cutting puts your body under stress. When you live in a moderate lean zone, you avoid those extremes. Your metabolism doesn't go on a roller coaster, and long term, and long term, that's matter. You got to play the long game when it comes to that, right? And I'm going to talk about a little bit later about bulking, right? Number five is the mental clarity. Yes, you guys got to think, right? And the lifestyle alignment. So for a lot of people, not everyone, but for a lot of them, consistency requires them to stay lean year round, actually simplifies their life, which is totally fine because, you know, it's a set of habits. It's a way of eating. You stop cycling between diet mode and off mode. The mental bandwidth is worth something, right? So those are five pros. Now, as I said, I'm going to touch on the cons as well. All right. where I think this is the part of the game that most people are missing. And before I go on, shout out to those content creators who actually try to promote a healthier lifestyle. But like I said before, I think there's some things that they gloss over or they miss when they talk about being lean. All right. So now, con number one, hormonal suppression at a very low body fat. Right. So there's a threshold when it becomes too lean. Like for men, when you drop between like 6 to 8 body fat for extended period, it suppresses your testosterone. Right. For women, dropping too low disrupts the hypothalamic pituitary ovarian axis, which stops the menstruation cycles entirely. And I know that happened to some people too, especially those who compete. I knew a young lady where her cycle was just thrown off, and you hear that a lot when you talk about um, on that extreme level, right? So they call this hypothalamic anemia, and it's not something that you just brush past. Your body treats extreme leanness as a threat to survival, and you can hear about these reports as well. Number two, recovery is harder, right? So when you're leaner year round, you're operating with less energy in reserve. So your body has less fat to pull from during high stress training blocks. So that means recovery can suffer, particularly during periods of high volume or high intensity. So you have to be more precise with nutrition, sleep, and stress management. And there's less margin for error. If you look at certain bodybuilders, that's why when they training, they cut back. I'm just using them as an example, although I said we're not going that extreme, but it is something to study. That's why when they compete for that top competition, you see them actually dial back their training because they can risk the chance of injury and they can't recover as quickly because they don't have the nutrition, the proper or the adequate nutrition to help fuel the recovery. All right. So keep that in mind. And number three, of course, the social and psychological costs. Yes, we have to be honest. You guys be cutting out your carbs. Y'all looking crazy out here. Y'all can't think. Y'all think 1 + 1 is 3. Joking. All right. Right. So basically, with this, when you get to that point, you're not going to have a life. You're not going to go out. You're not going to enjoy meals or your social night out because you're so restricted in what you can do, what you can eat. So therefore, it puts a lot of stress on you mentally as well and psychologically. All right. So it sometimes it drains their relationship with food, their social life, and even with themselves because now it becomes like an obsession, and it's just not. And it's not going. It's not becoming fitness anymore, and that's where you draw the line where it starts to become a problem. You have to go to like Fitness Anonymous. Joking. Oops, hold up. This on here. All right. 4, muscle building is slower. So hypertrophy thrives in a slight caloric surplus. So if you're eating to stay lean all year round, you're likely eating at maintenance or small deficit most of the time, which is absolutely correct. So your muscles gains is going to slow down. You can still build muscle, but you're not putting a significant amount of size, really, if that's your goal. So year-round leanness is a trade-off. So you're choosing one thing over another, and that's fine, but you just got to know what you're doing, right? Number 5, it requires real effort forever. Not on and off, it's forever. But sounds obvious, but it's very underestimated. I think this principle is because being year round lean is not a destination. It's really a practice. Because remember, these are habits that you're acquiring to maintain your body, right? So you never arrive. You got to keep going. This is an ongoing journey that you're on, right? So you have to make sure that you're committed. And most are not. But if that's something that you want to do, just keep that in mind when you're going on your lean journey, all right? So there's no off season, all right? So keep that in mind. So now, who is this actually for, right? I think for a good fit, if you're a competitive athlete or physique competitors who need to be close to performance weight, and you find a body composition generally feels better for them with more energy, cleaner mood, better performance, you can maintain that without being obsessed, right? Have the obsessive compulsive disorder kind of thing. And you're actually good at being consistent of having these type of habits built into your everyday life, right? And it's not gonna damage your other relationships with your social lives, life with your family, friends, etc. Right? Now, I wouldn't recommend this if you're active in strength or mass gaining phase, right? Or if you, because you could definitely lean in gains on the table. Right? Remember, to gain, you got to go in a caloric surplus, right? And if you have a history of eating disorder, I highly recommend that you don't do this as well, because structure could become a trigger to you, and if triggers are not addressed, you end up shooting yourself. No pun intended, if you know what I mean, right? Like young athletes who are still developing, supporting growth takes precedence. So you got to eat if you're a young athlete. Don't worry about being lean. Just worry about developing your body the best way you can. All right. So if you find the mental load unsustainable, the cost of quality of your life outweighs the benefits. So always weigh out the pros and cons of anything that you do. All right. All right. So the goal shouldn't be to be lean as possible. You want to find a good range for your body composition where you feel that you could perform and live the best, and that's to build a habits that's sustainable enough to live with most of the year without like knuckling it. You know what I mean? So for some people, that's 12%. I think that's a good range. For others, it's 18. Like I said, shout out to Ron Wills, my uncle Ron Wills, where he practices or he preaches body game. But the key to that is, he said, is to develop your best body. And one thing that I've taken from the old school bodybuilders, like the Robbie Robinson, the Lee Haneys, they call what is something called striking distance. So when they competed for a show, yes, they will drop their body fat percentage, but then they will go in almost like a lean bulk. So they will go in a little surplus so their body can heal, right? And then if they have a show or a photo shoot, they can drop because they didn't go in excessive bulk. And either we're after nature is after us, either or. We have to go in the ebb and flows of things. I like to align myself with nature, so I follow that principle, right? Like in the wintertime, we tend to hold on to more. We bulk. Almost got to go into hibernation. But when you're, because I'm lean most like all year round, right? For the most part, because of my body type. But when I try to put on some weight, I'm still within a certain amount of percentage, but I know I need my body to heal, because in the warmer seasons, I'm not eating as much, right? Because my metabolism is quick. It's very fast. So, or healthy, I should say. So I have to eat more to hold on to a little bit more, right? And you can do the same as well. So stay within striking distance, put on a little more weight, and then you can cut down during the warmer seasons. All right. So keep that in mind. All right. So that would be like fall, winter, you start to put on like nature. And then in spring, summer, you start to shed the fat. All right. So keep that in mind. And I think that's how you can have a healthy relationship with yourself and with food as well. All right. So that's just a note to the wise, right? So, but also the key is just to track how you feel at different body compositions. 'Cause remember, like I said before, this is a journey, and you're discovering more about yourself, how you look, how you feel, your energy level, your training performance, how you sleeping, your mood, how you are with your relationships. Those feedbacks are things that you need to take data of when you're engaging in this journey or on this journey. All right. So always build consistency. Don't go extreme with it. It's not about chasing. The goal shouldn't be about chasing a perfect leanness in one day. It's more so something that you can maintain throughout without destroying your mental health or your social life. All right, and just have fun with it too as well. All right, so when there's a shift, there'll be seasons of life, like when being lean isn't a priority. You get injured, high stress, life changes, but being lean during those seasons at the cost of everything else is not discipline, it's rigidity. And know the difference. All right. I always say palm tree, not oak tree. All right. So just keep that in mind, liking yourself after nature, and just take it from there. All right. So can you stay lean all year round? You definitely can, for the right person, with the right habits and the right reason and in the right season, of course, is definitely worth it. I think you feel better about yourself. Who doesn't want to see their muscles, their six pack? You know what I mean? But it's not for everyone. And that's totally okay. You got to find out what's good for you. Right. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you fit healthy and you have a high performing body. And just know what you're getting into, when embarking on this journey, when you want to be lean. All right. Make the decision with your eyes open, get the information. All right. And this is what this channel is all about too. So this is like no shame, no hype. We're just giving the information you need to make the decision that works for your life. If this helped, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. I like to hear your guys' feedback. And if this video resonated with you, show me some love in the comments. All right. So, and then also, if you need a nutrition plan as well, I do macronutrient coaching to help you either to gain weight or to lose weight. Your boy got you. And I do training program as well. All right. So just click the link in the description, reach out to me and see if we can work together. So this is Alchemy Fitness signing off, where we transfer you from lead to gold. Train hard, train smart, and train safe. Till next time. Peace.